Computer Forensics by Mercedes Hill, Kim Gottschall, and Deanna Davis. What is computer forensics? Computer forensics is the analysis of information contained within and created with computer systems and computing devices, typically in the interest of figuring out who was involved and what, how, and when it happened. It combines computer science and law elements to collect, preserve, and analyze data for it to be effectively presented as evidence in the courtroom. There are two types of investigations. One involves when the computer is used to commit a crime or is involved in the crime. The other type is done when the computer is hacked or information was stolen from the computer. There are also three different types of data that can be found using computer forensics. The first is active data, which can be data files and programs on an operating system. Second is archival data. This data is the type of data that has been backed up or stored on a floppy disk or CD. The last type of data is latent data. It is the most difficult data to find because it is usually information that has been overwritten or deleted. Involved in the investigations are two different types of forensic investigation teams. The black hats are the people that work for the defense team, while the white hats work for the prosecution team. There are many important factors that computer forensic investigators must know when attempting to collect evidence. First, they must preserve the original evidence and make copies of it. They will then use the copies for their analysis. The automated tools used cannot be relied on until they are examined properly, and all reports made need to be factual and have professional integrity and record events from beginning to end. The investigators must also abide by laws that have been set forth. To begin the investigation, the investigators must have authorization. To help aid the rights of citizens, the U.S. Constitution has amendments that protect the rights and secures the privacy of personal data. If these rights are violated by the investigators, there can be consequences such as a fine or imprisonment. There are many different forms that evidence can take. It can come as physical storage media, electronic impulses, or magnetic orientation. Evidence will come as text, graphic, erased or temporary files, motion pictures, databases, and ambient computer data on a storage device. The four fundamentals in dealing with evidence are identification, preservation, analysis, and presentation, which we have briefly explained before. To copy and gather evidence properly, there are steps that must be followed. A report recording every detail of the process must be maintained throughout the investigation. The computer forensic examiner must begin by securing the system from tampering and then make a copy of the hard drive and begin identifying and recovering all the files that they can find. These files may include all deleted files, hidden files, protected files, and temporary files. These must also be copied for analysis. Once through the basic files, they will look at applications and programs that were installed and give an evaluation on the system. There are multiple tools examiners can use to help produce the evidence that they are looking for. Disk imaging software, or hardware write tools, hashing tools, file recovery program, analysis software, RAM preserving programs, and encryption decoding software are some examples of these tools. Electronic discovery, or e-discovery, is the process of locating, collecting, and organizing relevant electronically stored information. This is basically the first step in computer forensics, and computer forensics will continue to aid in the process of e-discovery. This can require that investigators are experienced and knowledgeable in both aspects. There are many challenges in dealing with computer forensic investigations. One is that experts can be asked to testify about what they have discovered within their computer forensic investigations. There are times when experts need access to the data and information on the computer that relates to the case, causing more challenges along the way. Other challenges that occur while the examiners are working on the evidence could include alterations that can accidentally occur by turning the computer on and off, and Trojan horses or malware that may have been left on the computer to damage the data that they were looking to find. An example of this is anti-forensics. Anti-forensics is a technique that is used to tamper with the information during the computer investigation. Some of these programs can change the file headers so that the examiners skip over the information that they are searching for. Other files may be fully hidden inside of another or just divided into sections and have pieces of them hidden in other parts of other files. This causes complications in retrieving and reconstructing the data. There are programs that can make the files unreadable by using an encryption code, requiring the computer professionals to decrypt the code before beginning to understand their new data. When computer forensic specialists come up against criminals that use these programs, they must take special precautions when trying to retrieve the data. The digital forensic tools we have today are built for single workstations, although the ideal situation would allow us to work on many workstations at one time. In the future, we will have better ways to capture data during the acquisition. By doing this, we can reduce the amount of information the experts will have to sort through. It will only leave the information that will be worthy to the computer forensic specialists. The tools for live acquisition are an issue that experts must deal with. Difficulty taking on accurate screenshots due to certain programs on the computer could ruin unstable evidence that could be used for a case. This could be helped by speeding up the computer analysis. Today, experts sort through the files during the analysis process and distribute them through the file boundaries. This takes up large amounts of space in the computer. Finding an easier action to distribute the files evenly will be helpful in the future. Delve, Distributed Environment for Large-Scale Investigations, is a prototype that will help build this file distributing system. This prototype uses certain principles to speed up the forensic operations. Making this process less manual would also help the computer forensics in the future. If automatic detection of the information is created, it will be much easier to find the information that stands out.